Back to school? Yup, it's Virgo season. On August 22nd, just following the full moon, the sun is going to move into the mutable earth sign of Virgo. So we're going to be in Virgo season. This shift is going to happen at 5:35 p.m. Eastern time, so just for your time zone. And yeah, what is Virgo season about? Well, first we have to talk about the tropical zodiac, because we basically follow the seasons. And so here we are, where Virgo is a mutable sign. And so it represents a flexibility and a changeability. So we are in the process of changing during Virgo season from summer to fall. And so we're going to have days that are a little chillier, at least where I live. Where I live in the Northern Hemisphere, we have all 4 seasons. And where I live, I really love this time of year. Virgo season is one of my favorites because the sun is still really hot. The mornings are starting to get chilly though. And what I don't like is that the sun is disappearing a lot earlier. But we're starting to see some crunchy leaves on the ground. And then my absolute favorite thing about Virgo season is back to school, because Virgo is a sign that's all about organization. Virgo likes to have everything like precise and organized, and there has to be like a system. And so I really correlate in my mind like the new clothes, the new pair of shoes that are not scuffed up yet, the pencil box that still smells new and is still organized, and you still have all your erasers on your pencils. At least I did when I went to school in the 90s. I don't know what kids use now. Maybe you don't have pencils anymore, kids. And if that's the case, I kind of feel bad for you. But anyways, I think that Virgo season is a chance for us to get really organized and to spruce things up, to freshen up and to organize. And Virgo is really great at discernment. There's like a critical eye that Virgo possesses that's able to say, okay, no, this goes over here and this goes over here, and this would work a whole lot better if we shifted things around to run this way. So it's all about organization and making the most of our schedule, and making the most of our resources, making the most of our time. It's ruled by Mercury. So we're thinking about how we can be flexible, but also like to be flexible in a way that creates for better order and for things to run even more optimally, and to be able to perhaps do more with our time. So there is like that earthy resourcefulness that comes in during Virgo season. So one thing that we can look forward to with Virgo season that is pretty much characterizing specifically this one is this opposition to Neptune, because the sun now is joining Mercury and Mars in Virgo. We've already seen Venus travel through Virgo. She just finished her run through Virgo. But all of these planets are going to be opposing Neptune during Virgo season. So we're going to have Mercury, then we're going to have Mars, then we're going to have the sun, all opposing Neptune in Pisces, which is kind of chaotic and disorienting. And so the attempts on our behalf to try to like get organized and plan and keep things orderly is going to be reconciled with this ocean, this hazy, this sleepy planet of Neptune. And so there is this counterbalance of needing to trust the process, and sometimes we get overwhelmed, or our efforts to organize are just thwarted last minute. And so we have to have this simultaneous trust that things are going to work out in the right way at the right time, because that's what Neptune is about. But don't let the oppositions to Neptune trip you up too much. Neptune can also do wonderful things. It can elevate us. It can expand our imagination. And it can encourage us to just go with the flow a lot more. And this can be a wonderful thing for Virgo season, because Virgo is also like the sign of the artisan, of the perfectionist, of the hermit, of someone who is working on themselves, actively working on themselves. So there's something about our own process, our own personal growth process, or the process of honing our craft that gets highlighted during Virgo season. And Neptune can show us like a whole other layer of doing that. Neptune can open us up to other realms, especially if you're a creative person. This could be a wonderful transit to lean into. These could be wonderful transits to lean into. So that's something kind of magical and special that Neptune can offer us, is to kind of lean into the confusion. And Rick Levine, he talks about etymology a lot, and confusion, he actually says, is like con means with, and fusion is like fuse, like being part of the divine. So when you don't have a clear objective path forward with your mind, there's something about being with spirit, there's something about being in the hands of the universe that Neptune really offers. But it is also a little frustrating because we're trying to organize, we're trying to plan, and during Virgo season, we're trying to work, we're trying to be busy. It's the end of summer. There's a lot that we want to do, and Neptune is going to throw a little bit of a wrench in the plan. But maybe there's something better if we can just be receptive. Maybe there's something more magical waiting for us through that process. So that's a little bit about Virgo season, and stick around because eventually you'll get to hear this more specifics on each of those aspects. But for now, that was your Sun in Virgo astrology shot of the day. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you want more astrology in your world, you can join me on Instagram, Twitter, and yes, even Patreon. I've got special offerings there. Also, you can connect with me on my website. You can book your reading there. You can also check out my classes and offerings. If you want to study the art of astrological forecasting, Timing with Transits is an 11-week mentorship, and that begins in 4 weeks. That begins on September 8th. So I hope to see you there.